agency for us.
Right.
And high school is the draft. That's what it is. Some schools are to the point now, man. It's pay per view.
You let mediocre quarterbacks get paid NFL money once. Now even more mediocre quarterbacks are wanting to get paid. Goodbye to college football. The college football that you've watched and known is gone. Welcome to the mini NFL. It has been announced that Mr. Nico, last name I'm not going to pronounce because I don't want to disrespect his family, is holding out for more NIL money. Now, this was already after having a generational NIL contract that made Tennessee come under NCAA investigation. Today, we found out, after some denying from his father and from other sources, that he did not practice at spring practice due to this ongoing NIL situation. This is something that Deion Sanders has predicted, Nick Saban has predicted, Lane Kiffin has cried about, and today we're going to go through the full story and go give you a throwback of Deion Sanders explaining some of the issues. And we even have a Fred Taylor video too of him talking about the days before NIL, of them taking cash. And just the comparisons are crazy, man. If you enjoy college football content, if you enjoy transfer portal content and everything else in between, man, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it. NIL is heating up, which means the portal is heating up, and the portal doesn't even open for another week. Let's get right into the specifics, okay? Nico Iamaleava, again, please roast me in the comment section if I'm wrong. It was announced just recently, April 10th, that they were in active contract negotiations. First off, you should know that college football is dead whenever you hear contract negotiations. I'm pro NIL. I will remain pro NIL, but this isn't NIL if you're negotiating with a team. Like, we've just thrown it out the window. Nobody even cares to lie anymore, okay? If you know the difference, because there's going to be a bunch of comments in my comment section talking about NIL and the difference between collectives, right? Collectives are nonprofits that support schools, which are mostly booster funded, that hand out money, pay for play to players. NIL deals are name, image, and likeness deals, which you get sponsored from companies. Now, what happens is these collectives pretend that they're companies and they give people NIL deals. But at this point, Nico, Tennessee, they're just laying it all on the table saying, no, I am holding out. And here's the official thing. NCAA investigate. Oh, sorry, this was the throwback. Here's the official thing. Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava was not at practice this morning. So it is an official holdout, a college holdout. It is so crazy that Mr. Ian Rappaport, Rap Sheet, is speaking about the situation, calling it a college hold-in. Sorry, hold-in, because it's not a holdout. It's a hold-in. He's going to be there. He's participating, or, he has to stay on the campus because he's a University of Tennessee student, right? But he's not apparently participating in practice. Now, could this just be overblown? Could we find out something else happened? I don't know, because the thing is, Nico's dad has been saying quite the opposite. So Nico's father denies pushing Tennessee's football NIL negotiations. The father of the Tennessee quarterback, Nico, said that he had no idea about reported negotiations over his son's NIL contract. On Thursday on 3, Pete Narcos reported that Iamaleava is negotiating a new multi-million-dollar NIL deal just ahead of the transfer portal opening on April 16th. Like I said, you got 5 days upon recording this video. Late Thursday night, Iamaleava's father, Nick, responded to the report on social media. He claimed ignorance of any negotiations and pointed to an unnamed UT staffer for feeding the story to Nico. So that's what it is, right? And that's what it has been. And we'll talk about Nico the player, because I was quite underwhelmed by his season and by his start this year, but I think he still has a bright future. But just speaking about what this is, because again, April 10th, those are the reports. There are no contract negotiations and things like that. So you go from there are no contract negotiations to now Ian Rappaport is reporting that this is a hold-in. Do you think Ian Rappaport would report on this if he didn't have, I don't know, some intel to back up the fact that this is probably a hold-in? Come on, dog. It's Rap Sheet. He's got connections all across college and the NFL. So this is a clear sign. When the media is telling you these things, that's what it is. It's a hold-in. And understand that, like we alluded to, a record-setting NIL deal. So Tom Mars, this is back in 2024, right? January 30, 2024. Tom Mars, the attorney of the Tennessee-driven NIL marketing agency, Spire Sports Group, this is Tennessee, has released a statement regarding its NIL deal with quarterback Nico Iamaleava. I'm saying it wrong. I'm so sorry. The wake of the NCAA investigation of Tennessee for NIL in violations. Can I get it out? Jeez. In early 2022, independent of the University of Tennessee or anyone associated with this athletic program, stop lying. Spire Sports entered into a mutually beneficial contract relationship with Nico that involved a limited assignment of his NIL rights, no matter which school he chose to attend. Such representing agreements have become increasingly common. The parties agreed that their contractual rights and obligations would be governed by California law, which freely allow prospective college athletes to enter into such agreements. The commercial reasonableness of the agreement between Spire and Nico was evidenced by a recitation of the Spire, and this is going to get into a bunch of mumbo jumbo guard. He's basically saying, look, man, the loopholes that we're using are loopholey enough for it to happen. Okay. And if we can go back, I believe Nico's contract arranged in the realms of the $2 million, right? And he's looking for being bumped up to $4 million. Obviously, in the transfer portal, there was a bunch of big names getting a bunch of big contracts, namely Carson Beck. I know he lost his girlfriend and his Lamborghini since going to Miami, but he definitely does have a supposed $4 million a year contract as well. You got the Tulane quarterback, I believe, who also had a cool $4 million. So Nico, who at this point is a starter on a college football playoff team, is demanding his contract to be doubled. Tennessee officials say they weren't going to blink. Nico reps wanted to see his NIL deal up to the $4 million range before the winter portal closed. So this been a conversation. So this is something that's just been happening. Here is Nico ahead of the third spring. Again, so I don't think spring fully started for them. This is what he had to say before they started practice, though.
I got comfortable with, speaking to my individual position groups and, the offense. I think when it just comes to, letting the whole offense and defense and, the whole team hear your voice, I think that's been the biggest thing for me. They know I'm not the loudest. They know I don't, I'm not the rah-rah guy that, get everybody. But at the same time, I need to be, in certain instances. And, yeah, man, they just told me, always be myself, man. You don't got to be nobody else. Don't change yourself to, try and portray this image of a good leader. Just to be myself, and I feel like I've been doing a good job with that. Yeah, man, this year has been a challenge for me to take that next big step. I got some help from, guys like Miles, Ethan Davis, and, our whole leadership council, I think, just have helped me with that. My preparation has to take a next step, and yeah, man, I think just overall, just me being a player and me playing at the top of my game, I have to do a better job at that every game this year. I think it all starts, in the offseason and just building rapport with the guys and, holding guys accountable, just building that trust with the guys. I think it all starts now.
Now, I don't know how much trust you're building with this holdout, Mr. Nico. And again, he had a 19-5 touchdown to interception ratio, only threw for 2,000 yards in the very high-powered running offense. But is typically Josh Heupel's offense are known to be explosive down the field, going vertical. But before we get into that, and I'm gonna give my take on the whole situation with Nico, let's hear Deion Sanders' thoughts on NIL. And again, this is back in 2024 at the top of the year. So we'll check this out, and then we have him explaining NIL deals, just in case y'all forgot. You know what I mean?
That's what it is. Some schools are. Is the
agency month right now?
This is free agency for us,
right?
And high school is the draft. That's what it is. Some schools are better suited with the draft because they have more collective money to extend. But it's getting to the point now, man. It's pay-per-view. It's pay-per-view. All you have to do is look at some, except for Washington. Washington did a great job, and they are well coached. They were a machine this year. The top schools are the ones who has the biggest budgets, man. It's there like it's getting like NASCAR.
Or
what
F1 for my
European.
Europeans.
What do you mean? You said pay-per-view and then NASCAR.
Okay.
What do you got?
I'm not a big race guy, so I don't know the intricate details of race or anything with horse racing, whatever. I was told, I don't know how, and you could check me on this when you're right or wrong. Most of those teams with the largest bag normally finds themselves to the winner's circle.
Right.
You get say something now. This is the black man talking to
Deion Sanders is a let me
a great about NASCAR.
You're
horse race. You know, I'm kind of, you know, it's not my
Deion,
not my lane.
Deion, I call AAA to change a tire. You're talking to the wrong guy, man.
I don't know.
Neither do I. How are you coming out of this past season, Prime? What are you thinking about? What are you thinking?
We won in every aspect but on the field. We won in every aspect but on the field. And on the field, we've accomplished some wonderful things. We got our butts kicked twice. The other 10, we were within 3 to 7 points.
And obviously, we know he turned that into the next year, of course, being a 9-4 win. I do want to talk specifically to what he said about the racing comparison. But let's hear Coach Prime. Again, y'all have heard this video, explain the NIL deal. So I ain't got to explain in the comments.
Well, NIL is not really what you think it is. All these kids aren't getting NIL. These kids are getting collectives. Okay, collectives is if we took an offering up in this classroom, we passed the bucket like a church, and you put it's collection plate, and you put your collective in, and then we say, you know what, we got 10 players up here, and let's divide that. That player right there should get $10. That player right there should get $20. That's a collective. Yeah. NIL is a name, image, and likeness. Since I got time today, I want you to tell me how many players in college football that you've seen on commercials. 2. I got time today. Let's go. How many?
See Travis, Shiloh, Shador.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget the kid from USC, right?
Caleb. Right. Caleb Clark.
Who?
Caleb Clark.
Yep.
Go next.
Go next. Haven't seen it, but show me that commercial.
The 5.
But everybody's talking about NIL.
Right.
Seen NIL. That's all you've seen. All these college athletes, and you named 5 people. This is not NIL. This is not the day of NIL. That's what it's supposed to be. But it's collectives. And that's where it went wrong instead of staying right. I wish it was NIL so the kids could earn it, because now you got a ball for a CEO to invest in you. You think I'm going to have, just say, $100 million company, and I'm going to invest in a college kid that I don't know nothing about, right, and he could be in a deer in a headlight and get drunk after the game, and now my company brand is on it. There's no way. So,
and specifically with that point that he's making, right? Look, the issue is not players getting paid. And I hate that whenever I make videos like this about the NIL, the comments are arguing who's getting paid. The players need to get paid. They're smashing their heads together at 18 to 20-something years old. They are significantly risking their lifespan and their athletic longevity playing this very violent sport that makes and generates billions of dollars. In any other world, you gotta pay who's making the product, and that's the players. And I'm sorry, you can give him a free education, but it's billions. You need a little more cheddar on there. Let them get paid. But the uncapped situation that we have right now, that Deion Sanders has been predicting now for 2 years, that Nick Saban has been predicting now, sadly, I wanted to doubt him, has been predicting for 2 years, is here. He told you, yo, this is collectives. And now we've gotten to the point where we're openly talking about contract negotiations. And look, I love Nico, and I thought I had him as a Heisman hopeful coming into this year. By all intents and purposes, a mediocre, less than mediocre quarterback with a worse than 50% interception to touchdown ratio, someone who barely threw for over 2,000 yards, barely threw for over 2,600 yards. By all accounts, mediocre, bad quarterback, demanding almost NFL level pay. I think that's NFL level pay. And it's Carson Beck's fault. I'm serious. You let mediocre quarterbacks get paid NFL money once. Now even more mediocre quarterbacks are wanting to get paid. Goodbye to college football. Welcome to the NFL with worse talent. I love NIL. I love the transfer portal. I love what it's allowed for certain people, certain places, certain individuals to have upward mobility and to make phenomenal things happen. And I am not somebody who thinks that Nico shouldn't fight for his money. I'm not mad at Nico. Nico, you better get your money, dog. Do it. I am upset at the idea that he ain't going to be the last one to hold in unless the NCAA does something. Now, there is a House ruling, and it is going, but it doesn't get in the thing that they're kind of debating, and I haven't made a video on it because it's up in the air, and it's this and that, and there's more things, there's other part, there's a bunch of more pieces, and people don't really know what's going to happen with revenue sharing, right? And with revenue sharing, this could completely destroy all these contracts. So that's why I believe Nico is trying to maximize his money, because when that revenue share comes up and the government is saying, oh no, we got caps on stuff. Y'all can't just give Nico $4 million out of the what's it called? Out of the athletic budget, dog. Are we getting rid of Badminton, or are we getting rid of intramural? Which they will. They will be eviscerating all other sports to pay a 6'7" Polynesian dude to sling the ball. I like Nico a lot, and I probably had some of his high school highlights, going across. I really thought highly of him. I believe he was a 5-star, one of those super plus guys. He's got all the talent in the world, and I really hope for the best. And I hope he gets paid. I hope he gets paid largely and bigly with the biggest, baddest monthlies of all times. But again, the significance, I should say, of this, of him, I wouldn't even say committing this, but hey, man, we've crossed over into deeper waters. We should have known this was coming. We should have known. I told y'all, welcome to the NFL. So let's close it out with a pre-NIL story from Fred Taylor. And I think he was on Buzzing with the Boys. So let's hear it. Is he going to play?
But I committed to Georgia. They paid me a ton of money.
So I heard Georgia left a duffel bag of $30,000, but they left you a duffel bag to sign with them over Florida. You ended up choosing Florida and kept the duffel bag.
It was closer to 50. And it was the days I would just go over to this guy's place and say, hey, I'm in West Palm. I'm visiting my mom. Come by my place. 1,000, 15, $3,000.
And I'm not gonna go too long because I don't want to steal too much of their content. They got weird music in the background. But hey, man, if y'all want to go deeper in this NIL stuff, in the pre-NIL stuff, I think that's interesting. But it's crazy to see $30,000 being this crazy amount of money, and now you got Nico, and that's an NFL player. That's an NFL great, if I might add, right? A college football great. Let's take a step back. A college football great. And again, I don't think Nico shouldn't demand the money. I think the Pandora's box that we opened up and allowed Carson Beck to do is going to be detrimental to the sport we love in some way. But I'm going to keep loving it. I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to keep reporting on it. And I'm going to keep y'all updated every time I can. So if you want to stay locked in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon as well. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't like it. And we'll see you next time. Understand that you are great. I know that you know you're great. So keep being great, man. Peace.